I ruined an entire night because I shared a fun fact nobody asked for. And not just any fact. Like, the kind of fact that makes people stop eating mid-bite and question reality. Yeah, that kind. So this happened at my friend Jason's birthday dinner. Nice place. Not super fancy, but nice enough where you don't want to act stupid. Everyone's dressed decent. Music is low. Food looks good. And for once, everything is going perfect. I'm talking smooth conversations. Everyone laughing. No awkward pauses. No weird energy. And I'm sitting next to this girl. Her name's Mia. And bro, this was going good. Like, actually good. She's laughing at my jokes. Leaning in when I talk. Asking me questions. I'm like, yeah, this is my moment. All I had to do was not be weird. Just act normal. Just exist. That's it. So obviously, I ruined it. We're all talking, eating, just vibing. Conversation somehow shifts to random fears. Like dumb fears. One person says they're scared of the ocean. Another says bugs. Mia laughs and goes, I'm not scared of anything like that. But I hate thinking about what's in food. And everyone's like, yeah, same. Normal. Safe. Comfortable. This is where I should have stayed quiet. But my brain goes, hey, you know something absolutely unhinged about food? And instead of ignoring it, I lean forward, smile, and say, wait, did you guys know there are tiny microscopic bugs in almost everything you eat? And you've definitely eaten thousands without realizing it? Burrow, why? Jason freezes mid-chew. Someone actually stops chewing. Mia just slowly turns her head toward me like, what? And I should have stopped. I should have stopped right there. But no, I keep going, because now I feel like I need to explain. I'm like, yeah, like it's normal though. It's allowed. There's like a certain amount that's considered acceptable. Acceptable? Jason cuts me off. Now everyone's looking at their food, actually inspecting it. Like it just betrayed them. One girl goes, stop, please stop talking. And I laugh, because I panic. Worst possible reaction. Now it sounds like I'm joking. I'm not joking. Mia puts her fork down, slowly, and goes, I was literally enjoying my food. Bro, the disappointment, I felt it in my soul. But it gets worse. Because now someone else goes, wait, like how many? And instead of saying, I don't know, I say, enough that you've probably eaten pounds of it over your lifetime. Silence, like real silence. One guy pushes his plate away. Another person takes a sip of water like they're trying to forget what they just heard. Mia just leans back in her chair. Doesn't even look at me anymore. And that's when it hits me. Yeah, you just destroyed the entire vibe. Jason goes, bro, why would you say that at a restaurant? And I'm just sitting there like, I don't know, man. I really don't know. But wait, it doesn't end there. Because now the conversation shifts. And not in a good way. Now people are uncomfortable. Now people are asking weird questions. Now someone else decides to share their fun fact. And that's when everything actually goes downhill. Because what they said next? Yeah, that made my mistake look small. And that's when the whole night turned from awkward to complete chaos. So yeah, I thought I already ruined the night. I was wrong. I only started it. Because right after my whole you've eaten bugs your whole life speech, everyone's sitting there uncomfortable, like quiet. Not normal quiet. That weird, tense silence where nobody knows how to recover. Jason's staring at me like I just committed a crime. Mia hasn't touched her food in like a full minute. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, just let it die. Don't say anything else. Let someone change the topic. And for a second, it almost works. Jason clears his throat and goes, all right, new topic. That's when Mark speaks up. And bro, Mark is the last person who should ever add to a conversation like this. Because Mark is one of those guys who knows weird stuff. Like, unnecessary knowledge. Dangerous knowledge. He leans back in his chair, real casual, and goes, oh yeah, if that bothers you. Don't look up what's in ground meat. Burrow. No. I immediately go, Mark, don't. Like I tried to save it. Too late. Everyone turns to him. Because now they're curious and uncomfortable. Worst combo. Mia looks at him like, what do you mean? And I swear, this man smiles. Like he's about to drop something life-changing. He goes, I mean, technically, legally, there's a certain percentage of stuff in ground meat that isn't just meat. Silence. Jason just slowly puts his fork down. One girl goes, why are we doing this right now? Mark shrugs. Just saying. It's normal, though. Burrow. Why does everyone keep saying it's normal like that helps? Now people are really not eating. Like plates are just sitting there. Mia looks at her food like it personally offended her. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, I opened the door for this. I could have stopped it. I could have just stayed quiet. But no. Now it's a whole thing. Jason goes, all right, now we're done. No more facts. Nobody say anything else. And honestly, that should have been the end. We could have recovered. We really could have. But then, someone laughs. Not like a normal laugh. Like a nervous, this is so uncomfortable I don't know what to do laugh. And that's when it spirals. Because now people start talking over each other. Wait, so what are we actually eating then? I'm literally not hungry anymore. Why would you guys bring this up mid-meal? And I'm just sitting there like, I did this. I started this. Mia finally looks at me. And bro, it wasn't even anger. It was disappointment, which is worse. She goes, you really couldn't just keep that to yourself. I try to laugh it off. Okay, but like, technically it's interesting. She cuts me off. Not at dinner. Yeah, I'm finished. Conversation is dead. Food is untouched. Jason looks stressed because it's his birthday and now everyone's grossed out. And I'm just trying to figure out how to recover. So I do the worst possible thing. I try to fix it. I go, okay, wait. Let's just reset. New topic. Something normal. And Jason goes, please. So now I'm thinking fast. Like, okay, safe topic. Something harmless. Something that won't ruin the vibe. And I say, so, you guys ever think about how weird it is that... And before I can even finish, everyone at the table goes, no. At the same time. Loud, like they don't trust me anymore. Which, fair. So now I'm just sitting there in silence. Like I've been socially banned. Mia looks away again. Jason shakes his head. Mark is still smiling like he didn't just contribute to the downfall of society. And I'm thinking, yeah, this night is cooked. But it still somehow gets worse. Because right when things start to calm down a little, the waiter comes back. and asks the worst possible question at the worst possible time. He goes, "How's everything tasting?" Bro. The timing. Jason just looks at him, then looks at the table, then goes, "Honestly?" And I'm like, "No, don't. Please don't." But it's too late. Because now Jason's about to say something. And once he starts talking, there's no going back. And yeah, that's when everything went from awkward to straight up embarrassing for all of us. Bro, I swear that waiter question was the final boss trigger. "How's everything tasting?" Jason just stared at him for like a full second. Then he looked back at us. And I already knew this was about to get worse. Because Jason is the type of guy who, once he's annoyed, he doesn't let it go quietly. He goes, "Honestly, we were just talking about some stuff that kind of ruined the appetite." And I'm immediately like, "No, don't elaborate." But he does. Of course he does. The waiter looks confused, like, "What kind of stuff?" And instead of saving it, Mark jumps in again. I literally whisper, "Bro, stop talking." Too late. Mark goes, "Just like food facts. You know, ingredients, stuff you don't really want to think about while eating." The waiter slowly nods like he regrets asking. Mia leans back even further in her chair. She hasn't touched her plate in forever. And now she just says quietly, "Can we just get the bill?" That hit me harder than anything else that night. Because that's when I realized we weren't recovering. We were escalating. Jason sighs. "Yeah, just bring the check." The waiter leaves fast. Like fast. Like he also wants out of this situation. And now it's just us at the table. Silent. Heavy silence. The kind where nobody wants to be the first to talk. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, maybe I can fix this. Maybe I can make it funny again. Worst idea I've had all night. So I try. I go, "Okay, in my defense, I didn't know it would go like this." Nobody laughs. Not even a fake laugh. Mia finally looks at me again. And she just goes, "You always talk like that?" Bro. That one hurt. Because it wasn't even about the fact. It was about me now. Jason leans back and says, "Yeah, man. You kind of started a whole spiral." Mark nods like he's proud of the destruction he helped cause. I think it was educational. Nobody responds to him. At this point, the energy is done. Like completely finished. The waiter comes back with the check and puts it down fast like he's escaping a crime scene. Jason pays immediately. Nobody argues. Nobody even looks at food anymore. We just want out. We stand up. And here's the worst part. Nobody is talking while we leave the table. Not even small talk. Just walking. Awkward walking. We get outside and it's still quiet. Mia finally says, "I think I'm gonna head home." And Jason just goes, "Yeah, same." And Mark is like, "That was still a good night though." Burrow. Read the room. Everyone ignores him. We all split up right there. No group vibe left. No birthday energy. Just separation. And I'm standing there like the main character of a disaster movie thinking, all because I opened my mouth at the wrong time. Mia didn't even hug goodbye. Just a small wave. That's it. And Jason didn't even look at me when he left. And I can't lie. That's when it really hit. This wasn't just awkward anymore. I actually ruined the night. Like, genuinely. And it wasn't even the original fun fact anymore. It was everything after. Mark's extra knowledge. Jason's frustration. The waiter moment. All of it stacking. And me just sitting there like the source of the problem. Walking home that night, I kept replaying it. Over and over. Thinking, bro, why did I start talking? Because that's the thing. One sentence didn't just ruin dinner. It exposed how fast a good night can collapse when nobody knows when to stop talking. And I definitely didn't know when to stop. Not even close. I didn't sleep that night. Like, actually didn't. Just kept replaying the whole dinner in my head. Like some kind of highlight reel of bad decisions. You know that feeling when your brain keeps going? Yeah, you did that. That was you. Yeah, that. The next morning I wake up and immediately check my phone. No text from Mia. No funny last night was crazy LOL message. Nothing. That's when I knew I really fumbled it. Jason texted though. One message. Just, "Bro, never talk at dinner again." No emoji. No joke. Just straight pain. I stared at that for like a full minute.